She never expected betrayal to arrive disguised as routine, hidden inside the familiar rhythm of everyday life. For years, she believed she understood the man she loved, trusting that his silence meant peace and his distance meant exhaustion. But the truth, when it finally surfaced, shattered the foundation she had built her life upon. It came like a violent gust of wind, tearing apart the illusions she had protected for so long. In the hours that followed, she replayed conversations, gestures, excuses, trying to understand where everything began to fall apart. Her heart ached with a weight she had never felt before, a heaviness that made breathing feel like climbing a mountain in the dark. And yet, somewhere beneath the devastation, a small ember of hope remained, weak, trembling, but alive, whispering that healing after heartbreak was possible, even if she had no idea how to start. The nights that followed were a battlefield. Lying alone in the dim light of her bedroom, she felt as if her mind was both her enemy and her only companion. Every unanswered question multiplied, every memory sharpened into a blade that pierced her thoughts. She longed for sleep, but sleep refused to come, leaving her trapped in a cycle of doubt and disbelief. She wondered how someone could promise forever while secretly preparing to leave. The injustice of it made her chest tighten, yet even as the pain consumed her, she noticed something shifting inside, a growing awareness that what she had lost might not have been love, but the illusion of it. Still, the ache persisted, reminding her that heartbreak is not just emotional. It cuts into one's sense of identity. And while she did not know it yet, these sleepless nights were slowly carving the path toward her healing after heartbreak. There was a morning, pale and quiet, when she finally understood that betrayal does more than break. It reveals. It exposes truths she ignored, instincts she silenced, warnings she dismissed in the name of devotion. As she made coffee in the kitchen they once shared, she realized how often she had dimmed her own light to make space for someone who gave so little in return. Her heart was bruised, but her awareness was awakening. Each moment of clarity felt painful, yet necessary. Like removing thorns embedded long ago, she saw that love, when one-sided, becomes a prison disguised as comfort. Although this realization brought tears, it also delivered a strange kind of liberation. She was not losing a soulmate. She was losing a shadow. And slowly, she began to accept that healing after heartbreak required confronting illusions she had unknowingly built around him. As days turned into weeks, she discovered that recovery did not come in grand victories, but in subtle, almost invisible shifts. She started reclaiming small rituals, walking at sunset, cooking meals she enjoyed, opening windows to let light in. These gestures felt fragile, as if they might break at any moment, yet they formed the first pieces of a foundation she was rebuilding from within. The memories that once pierced her now softened, no longer demanding attention but settling quietly in the background. She learned to forgive herself for trusting someone unworthy and for overlooking her own needs in the process. Forgiveness did not erase the wound, but it loosened the grip of bitterness. It reminded her she was capable of rebuilding a life where she no longer waited for validation that never came. Many people around her mistook her persistence for strength, but she knew it was survival, an instinct deeper than courage. She had bills to pay, routines to maintain, dreams she had neglected but not abandoned. Life continued, indifferent to her pain, and she had no choice but to keep moving. Anger visited often, roaring through her when she least expected, fueled by the injustice of lies told with a straight face. But over time, anger transformed from an uncontrollable fire into a guiding signal. It showed her where boundaries needed to be built, where self-respect needed reinforcement. She realized that closure was not something the betrayer could offer. Closure was a decision she had to make on her own terms, by choosing not to let cruelty define her story. Healing after heartbreak proved unpredictable. Some mornings she felt powerful, ready to reclaim everything she had lost. Other days, grief resurfaced without warning, like waves crashing over her at the exact moment she thought she had escaped the tide. Still, even in the setbacks, she noticed progress. She began recalling moments of joy she once believed were permanently lost. She rediscovered music, writing, and conversations that brought comfort. She allowed herself to feel sadness without judging it. This emotional unpredictability became proof that she was alive, changing, evolving. Her heart, once hollowed by betrayal, now pulsed with a strength that had nothing to do with him. It came entirely from within. Eventually, she stopped looking for the version of herself that existed before betrayal. That woman had loved blindly, given endlessly, and accepted far too little. The woman emerging now was different, wiser, sharper, unwilling to shrink, to make others comfortable. She no longer apologized for having needs or for speaking truths she once kept buried. She embraced the transformation, recognizing that pain had sculpted her into someone she respected more deeply. She no longer wished to erase the past. She wanted to understand it. Each insight became part of a new identity, shaped not by heartbreak, but by resilience and renewal. There was a particular day, warm and unremarkable, when she realized the ache in her chest had faded. She stood near the window, watching sunlight filter through dust floating in the air, and felt an unfamiliar peace. The betrayal still existed in her memory, but it no longer controlled her breath or her future. She had survived what once felt unsurvivable. Her spirit had walked through fire, and although she carried scars, those scars had become symbols of her endurance. It was in that quiet moment that she finally understood something profound. Healing after heartbreak is not about returning to who you were before the pain. It is about becoming someone stronger than the person who once accepted so little. As she continued forward, she no longer felt ashamed of her story. Instead, she saw it as evidence of her ability to rise from devastation. She began sharing fragments of her journey with other women who carried similar wounds, hoping her experience could offer comfort or direction. Her vulnerability became her strength, reminding her that healing is not meant to be hidden. She realized that love was not the enemy. Poor choices and dishonesty were, and with that realization came a renewed belief in the possibility of something better, whether companionship, purpose, or peace. Her scars became her testimony, not her burden. When she speaks of the past now, her voice carries clarity rather than pain. She does not seek revenge, nor does she long for apologies. Instead, she honors the path that forced her to rediscover herself. Betrayal may have broken her heart, but it awakened a deeper truth, that her worth does not depend on another person's loyalty. She stepped out of the ruins with a strength she never expected, and a hope more resilient than before. This is the essence of healing after heartbreak, not forgetting what happened, but rising above it with grace. By choosing hope, she reclaimed her life, and in reclaiming her life, she wrote the ending he never imagined, her complete and undeniable restoration.